Hello, hi Demetra, back again. Okay, so I have a story that we're remembering back when I was in high school. The story is I'm just remember this. I'm just like I might as well just record myself remembering it or talking about it. Um, so basically, I was in high school. I went to Eleanor Roosevelt High School, Greenbelt, Maryland, class of 2000. So basically, I was a senior during this incident that I'm about to talk about. Something that I remember. I remember a couple of things, but for some reason, I'm just about to talk about this story. I was a senior in high school. I did not drive, and back then, when I was in high school, people who were 15 and 16-year-olds was driving, and unfortunately, I wasn't one of them people, but everything worked out how it's supposed to work out. That's another story too. How I done failed my driver's test, the the test, not the road test, but the driver test 3 times. Goodness. And it was one of the last day. Like, I'm sidetracking, but it was one of the last day before the new law kicked in, which is the current law now. When you I think you got to be like 17 and something to have your learners. I don't know what it is, but I know back then, I I was so upset and I cried. I was just like, oh my goodness, I have to wait till I'm 18 to drive. I was like, but anyways, back to what I was getting at. Well, this is dealing with something about driving. Okay, so one day, I'm a senior in high school, and I was getting off the school bus to where I lived at, and the school bus, me and this one of my classmates. Well, I don't think we had a class together, but he went to my school. I believe he was in the 11th grade, and I can't even remember his name. He was a nice guy. He was cool. He would walk me home sometimes. We were just friends. He would walk me home sometimes. We would get off the school bus, and I used to get off on MLK Highway, and then goodness, I can't even. It's trying to explain it, but basically, in order to it's like a highway, MLK Highway. Okay, it had lights, and not really like a highway, but you know how they call long streets highways. But anyways, I had to turn on Hill Road. That's where I live, off of Hill Road. And in order, the direction that the bus be going, you it's 2 lights in order to turn on Hill Road. So this particular day, any day, of course, is 2 sections, 2 lanes to turn onto Hill Road. So if they 2 red arrows and cars is in that lane, they obviously is going, that would be a left. Yeah, this is left. That would be a left to turn on Hill Road. Then it had like 2 other lanes next to it to keep going straight on MLK Highway. Hopefully I'm explaining it right. Or y'all can picture, or Demetra, you remember. Well, of course you remember, but anybody else that's watching this video, y'all can picture what I'm talking about. But anyways, so this particular day, getting off the school bus, my friend, he got off the school bus with me like any other day, and it was drizzling at the time, and I had an umbrella, and it was one of them umbrellas. It was a regular umbrella, but you know how like the wind pick up and the umbrella just like go upside down, or it just do its own little thing. So that's actually what was happening. So basically, we get off the school bus in a crosswalk. The school bus go, keep on, drive off, whatever. So we at this button to push to cross the street. So no cars coming, and no cars coming to go down MLK. And in the middle of MLK, it was like a small, like, medium, like a sidewalk medium, to divide the lanes from one direction to the other direction. It's like a medium, you could stand on it like a curve, whatever. So anyways, So no cars coming. So we like, okay, we can cross the street. And then a car started coming slowly and then it stopped in the turning lane because it had a red light, a red arrows to turn on Hill Road. It was one particular car. So they was in the lane to turn on Hill Road. So all the cars that was coming straight through, it was no cars. So we can walk across the street. I seen the car stop, waiting to turn on Hill Road. They couldn't go nowhere. They couldn't go straight because they in the turn lane to go down Hill Road. So he was going to go to the medium and, wait and then cross the street again, to get to the other side of the road. So all I know, we walking in the street. So I can laugh at it now, but I tell you, goodness. So a wind picked up. I'm holding my umbrella. Got my book bag on. I'm holding the umbrella. I guess in my right hand. So I'm walking, and this wind picked up, and then all of a sudden the umbrella started coming in front of my face, like coming this way. So only thing I could see is like what's in front of me. I look down, I could see my feet, and I could see the curve, where I'm headed to. I couldn't see on this side, I couldn't see on that side. Well, really didn't really have to look on that side because that's not the direction of the traffic. I just had to see where I'm going. If that makes sense. I'm just looking forward, see my feet, see the ground, see the curve where I'm going to. So whatever's on this side, I couldn't see because of the umbrella. So I'm walking, the wind started blowing, and then my friend, I think he's in front of me, but like with an umbrella at, he's like, watch out. And I'm looking, and I remember like, look out for what, like in my head, like, I don't know, look out for what, like, I don't know which direction to go, so I just kept walking, like I see the curve. He was like, look out. So I'm walking, all of a sudden, boom, I got hit by the freaking car that was waiting at the red light to turn on Hill Road. They decided to go straight. All of a sudden, they decided to go straight. So, yes, I got hit by a car. And all I remember is, being hit. It really didn't hurt. I felt it, but it didn't hurt. I remember waking up on the ground. Well, I don't even think I dozed off. I don't know. But I remember looking up on the ground. I'm on the ground, and it's like drizzling. And he's like, oh my goodness, my friend. He's like, oh my goodness, are you okay? I can't even remember his name. But he's like, are you okay? So I'm laying down like, what the heck just happened? I said, did I just get hit by a car? He was like, yeah, oh my goodness. And you flew in the air, and you like, oh my goodness, are you okay? And then I'm like leaning up a little bit. And then, so I seen the two people getting out the car. It was a male and a female. They got out the car, they come to me, and they got down on their knees. They was like, oh my goodness, you okay? The road was slippery. Oh my goodness, you okay? So I'm still laying on the ground. I lean my head back, and I'm on the ground because I'm trying to process what just happened. And I'm like, did I just get hit by a car? And then so I'm looking around, I'm still laying on the ground, and then I'm like waiting. I'm waiting for people to come, for cars to stop, for a lot of people to run over. You know how they do it in the movies. I'm waiting for that to happen. I'm looking like, okay, where's everybody at? Where the cars, where the people running? And I was shut up thinking about that because I'm, like, I'm on the ground like, what? Where everybody at? So they kept saying, you okay? Oh my goodness, you okay? So I'm like, when it didn't come, when people wasn't stopping, when the cars didn't stop, when people didn't come, and more people didn't come, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. So then they helped me up, and then the male and the female, they was like, oh my goodness, do you need a ride? We'll give you a ride home, sorry, yada yada yada. And I'm like, and I'm still shooken up a little bit. So my friend was like, are you okay? Because you just flew. So I stood up, and like the car is like, I don't know, maybe 10 feet maybe from me. So he was like, I flew. To me, I didn't see myself fly, I didn't see it. I was in it. So, but he was like, yeah, you done flew all the way, this, the car hit you and you done, psh. So I'm like, for real? He was like, yeah. But anyway, so we did accept the offer for them to give us a ride home, which was like a minute and a half, because it was like right down the street. And then that particular day, my mother was in the house with my sisters, my little brother, and she didn't go to work that day. I think one of my sisters had a doctor's appointment or something. But so at all the days, my mother happened to be home that day. Normally she would not get in the house till about 6 o'clock or so, but she was home that day. So the car, dropped us, and we live like in a cul-de-sac or whatever, in like the circle part, in the neighborhood. So the car dropped us off. Me and my friend, we got out. My mother had the screen door, closed, but the door open so you can see who's coming in, had the screen door. So we walking up the steps to go inside the house. So, my friend came in the house with me, my mother in the kitchen. She was like, everything good? What's going on? And my mother was like, who car y'all just got out of? Because she was in the kitchen. She was like, who car y'all just got out of? Like, who's that, So, I was like, Mom, I just got hit by a car. I was like, what? And then when them words came out of my mouth, like when I actually spoke it, that's when I got like really emotional, and like I just started crying. Mom was like, oh my God, you got hit by a car. What happened? And I couldn't speak after that. Like I couldn't, I was just crying. So my friend, he saw me telling my mother what happened. My mother was like, what? You didn't get their license plate? Did you get their name? Did you do this? My mother was like, you 17 years old, you was in a crosswalk, yada, yada, yada. You want to get in a car with these people, and so I'm just like crying. So she was like, are you okay though? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Nothing hurting, I'm fine, Mom was like, yeah, you want to feel it tomorrow. She was like, you want to feel it tomorrow. She was like, I'm not taking you to the hospital today, whatever. Far as like if I have to go, I'll probably just call an ambulance or something. I don't know. But she, like I said, got my younger siblings and all that. But I was like, I'm fine. So my friend, he told my mother what happened. He was like, well, all right, I'm about to leave and go home. And, he on his way home. So I was like, okay, thank you, So I went upstairs. Of course, my sister was like, oh, my goodness, you okay? You got hit by a car, this and that. I'm like, yeah, I did. So this time I had calmed myself down. But I was still like in shock, like, oh my goodness, like I just got hit by a car and then I flew. He talking about I flew in the air, and and I'm picturing all these movies where people just that happen to, and then people stop and run over, and I'm like, how come that ain't happened with me? But I was just like, well, I survived, I'm good, I'm not hurt, no scratches, no bruises, like I ain't had nothing up on me. I was like, hey, I'm good. So the next day, was a school day. Went to sleep, woke up. Why I could not move. I'm in my bed and I'm like froze. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't move. So I had to like call my mother, get myself to move, because I was about to get up and get dressed for school and do what I have to do. My mother, she already at work at this time, so I had to call my mom at her job and was like, Mom, I can't go to school today. Mom was like, what's going on? I'm like, my back hurt. Like, I cannot move, My mother was like, oh my goodness, see, I told you, I was like, okay. So mother was like, well, I got some Tylenol, yada, yada, in the bathroom. Take some of them, when you need to. Just get some rest, drink some water, yada, yada, yada. Call me if it get worse, or if you, whatever. I'm like, all right. So I think that was actually on a Friday. So didn't go to school. And I don't like taking pills. I don't like taking no medicine. Like, I don't do none of that. But I sure enough took some pills that day. I took them Tylenols. Shoot. When I say my back was hurting, like my back was like stiff. Like it was just like, what the heck? Like I was still movable, but it was just like I couldn't bend. I couldn't do this. And I'm 17 years old and I was very flexible. I was a cheerleader. In middle school, I was a cheerleader. Then I tried out for prom and dance and cheerleader and all that other stuff in high school. You know, so I was a young, active, you know, flexible kind of teenage girl. You know, shoot, and I was only like 105 pounds maybe. So, anyways. So I don't even know why I'm remembering this. Well, I mean, why this is coming to my memory, which is cool, which is fine. So, what am I about to say? So going back into this story, when I was going, you know, I went to school or whatever, it was this boy, you know, after the weekend, you know, Monday I went to school, you know, my back was decent. It wasn't like 100%, but it was decent, you know. So, throughout this time, like throughout this whole school year, it was this boy, which I cannot remember his name either, but it was this boy. He a classmate. He was like real thick. He wasn't fat. He was like real like chunky, thick kind of person. Real nice guy. And he always liked to give hugs, and he always is loud. Like he's like one of them aggressive kind of hugger. Like if he hugs you, he like, well, for me, when he would hug me, he would pick me up, spin me around, and just like hug me so tight. And I'd be like, okay, put me down. You know, like we in high school, and I'm just like, dude, like you making a scene. Like goodness, you know, high school. If you touch somebody's hand, people be like, oh my goodness, they go together. Oh my goodness, you know, high school gossip. You know, so it was just like, why does this dude keep picking me up and spinning me around? So he was doing that like throughout the whole year, and I used to be trying to dodge him and stuff like that. You know, if he see me, I would like go around the other way and make sure he don't see me, or I'd be like, hurry, or hey, I gotta go to the bathroom, hi, yada, and keep moving. I can't remember the dude's name though, but anyways, so after the back incident, you know, like maybe a couple of days later, while I'm in school, I seen him, and we like about to cross paths on the what you call that thing, on the landing. Like in school, we had like steps to go this way, then it's a landing, and then the steps go up this way. So he was coming down the landing, and I was going down, you know, to the other landing to go up. So I seen him, and I was just like, oh, and my back was hurting a little bit. I was just like, oh my goodness, I don't feel like dealing with him today. Like I'm just like, oh, my freaking back, you know, like I just want to go in the classroom and sit down and whatever. So sure enough, he seen me. He was like, hi, Demetra. And I'm like, hi. And then so I'm the type of person who, and he like to talk too, so I'm just like, let him talk or whatever. So he's like, hi. And then so he was like, yeah. So he gave me a hug, and every time he gives me a hug, I always put my arm down. I don't hug him, you know, with my arms like over his shoulders. I have my arms by my side, and he just picks me up and hug me and spin me around or whatever. So this particular day was no different. So I'm just like, oh, in my head, I'm walking to him. He like, hi. I'm like, hi. So in my head, I'm like, this dude about to pick me up and hug me. Let me just get this over with, you know, like my back freaking hurting, whatever. So sure enough, he came, grabbed me tight, how you always do, like that bear hug, grabbed me tight, and started squeezing me, and then started spinning me around. Like he just started doing like this. Like he ain't spinning around to that day, but he just started hugging me and doing like this. So I'm like, oh my goodness, you know. And then I heard a pop in my back, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I just heard something. It was like a little small pop, and I was just like, oh goodness, he probably messed me back up some more. So then he put me down. He was like, all right, see you. I mean, he ain't sound like, all right. He ain't have that voice, but he was like, all right, see you, Demetra. I'm like, okay, bye. And then he walked off, and then so I'm walking. I'm like, So walking up them steps, I'm like, wait a minute, my back feels good. My back feels so much better. So basically, that hug that he gave me, like, healed my back in a sense. Like, I felt so good throughout the rest of the day, and throughout a couple of days, a couple of weeks actually. And then so I didn't see him after that till maybe like a week or so later. And then I was like, shoot, and my back was still fine, but I was like, shoot, I wouldn't mind him giving me hugs, anymore. He can give me all the hugs he wants. So I remember seeing him for the next time, and he looked like he was dodging me, like he ain't even want to, communicate with me or give me a hug, because I'm like not trying to wave him down, but we meeting at that same crossway. And I'm like, hi, I'm ready for him to be like, hi, Demetra, and give me a hug and stuff. This dude just walked past me, and I had to turn back like, hi, yada yada, call his name, and he turned back and was like, hi. I'm like, hi, and he just turned back around and kept walking. I'm just like, okay, this dude ain't even give me a hug. He ain't, this time. So that was a bit weird. But like I said, all things happen for a reason. Of course, at that time, I didn't realize why. But now I'm like, okay, and I can't remember the dude's name. But he was there for a reason to heal my back. Like that was a preparation. All the many months that he been hugging me. And then I'm just like accepting it, but like a little bit weird with it, because it's like, yeah, that was all to prepare me for him really helping my back get better with the last hug that I got from him. After that, he was dodging me. Oh, and then another thing, the boy, he wasn't my classmate, but the boy that got off the bus with me, that he be every so often, not every day, but every so often he would get off the bus with me. And he witnessed when I got hit by that car. Every so often, like I said, he would do that. I think I seen him maybe twice after that, and I didn't see him anymore. And I think he got off the bus with me one more time after that. And then I think we walked to the bus, or he came to the house to walk me to the bus stop, something. But we only seen each other like twice after that, and I didn't see him anymore after that. So yeah, so I think people were put in my lives, or anybody's lives, but I realize people, put in my lives or whatever for specific reasons, and it goes way back, of course, way back before high school, but I'm just remembering high school stuff now. So yeah, but that was it. So that story came to mind. So I'm just like, yeah, I got hit by a car. I flew a lot of feet away when the car hit me. Don't know, the two people who hit me was a male and a female who freaking ran the red light or decided to not turn and then decided to go straight and hit me on a rainy day. Ain't nobody come, no pedestrians come, no cars stop, nobody come. I was in the movies when people stop me, be like, oh my goodness, don't move them. Like, I ain't getting none of that. Which is fine, because, I'm cool. Basically, I'm protected. Yeah, I'm protected. Yeah, so that's probably the meaning of the story. It was probably other meanings of the story, but overall, I'm protected. So even with me getting hit by that car flying X many feet away from it, I came out with no scratches and bruises. Yeah, me saying it out loud, made it real. And the dude healed my back. Well, not healed my back, but he made it feel better. And I guess that's it. So that's just one of my many stories that I will probably come and tell, because it do feel good to talk about some stuff, like record myself talking instead of keep talking to myself in my mind. But anyways, yeah. All right, bye.